Yeah, I taught in Minneapolis for years, and then I began to do some writing, and I'm now mentoring 2 prisoners, and I've worked in programs for students who were kicked out of other schools often, as well as the Purpose program. And what I've said and what I've done work in white privilege or white paternalism in schools. That's where I ended up being a consultant. And one of the things that is, I don't know how we address this, but it's the resistance of white teachers to making any change in their curriculum, in how they deal with students, in accepting their role in this. And I remember telling people that when I went from Purpose, where I was teaching creative writing, and they were kids chosen from all over the state for their great creative writing, right? And it was a wonderful program, loved the students, but I wanted to go back and be in the city. I took my little break out in the summer for a year or 2. And I said I got to this program called Work Opportunity Center, and it was for students who were kind of shuffled out of their schools because they weren't doing well. It was primarily all black. And I taught English there. I taught writing and reading. And those students, and I would tell this to teachers as I began to do consulting, were more brilliant, more accomplished in using language than the students I had at Purpose. And that is when their backs went up. They didn't want to acknowledge or understand that we had so failed our black students in our system. They were at a school for toss-out, dropout, whatever you called it then, at risk. And they were as bright and as brilliant as the white kids that were coming in the door. And I'm at a loss at times on how to break this resistance.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
I mean, they don't want to change the curriculum. I would say, look at your textbooks, look at AP, look at IB classes. Tell me how many pages do they spend on slavery versus the battles of the Civil War. And often they'll find one or 1.5 pages on that. And so there is no history being taught in a lot of these great classes. I mean, the curriculum has got to change radically. And that's something teachers don't want to do because it messes with their preparation.
As a white teacher, I feel compelled to speak. I didn't really want to be up here, but I was really inspired by Tucson's response to the documentary screening that I was at, where it's time for white people to be uncomfortable. And if I can assist in an incredibly small way in a conversation, in a dialogue, I think that's important because every day I stand in front of 25 black men. I'm the only white person in my classroom most days. And I feel like, when is it time for white teachers to do something? I feel like it was time a long time ago, but it's also important to know that silence is a decision. Silence is a choice, right? Like, silence is taking a side, and that's not the side that I want to take for my students, for my community. So I think it's really important for white teachers to know that not saying it, or people, not just teachers, not saying something, you're already taking a side.